You're listening to 1680 WOKB AM, Winter Garden, Florida.
This is your host, Jay Real from Real Family Talk. We are here live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is Hump Day. Listen to the show and enjoy your Wednesday night. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. Hope you're having a great Wednesday evening, man. It's a good day in the neighborhood. That's all I like to say. Don't shake your head, Miss McCray. Don't shake your head. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody in the building here. Jeremy, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing all right, brother. Doing all right. Can't wait to have this discussion tonight. That's what I'm looking forward to. Better. How you doing tonight, Miss McCray?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's going to be the saying of the year. Like, just go ahead and brand that for 2015. No, I'm blessed. Each day gets better.
That's what I'm talking about. The physical therapy didn't kill you today, huh?
No, I didn't have it today. So
no
Friday.
Physical therapy day. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mr. King, Mr. Mikey King, how you doing, brother?
My brother. I'm doing awesome sauce. That is the new word for 2015 for me. Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce.
I got you.
Awesome sauce.
What it tastes like?
It's not a taste, it's the feeling.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to ask you how it feels.
Awesome.
It feels awesome sauce.
Oh, man. Real quick, man. I forgot to mention this last week. As you guys know, Jacques Vaughn got fired as the Orlando Magic coach last week. What were your guys' thoughts on that? I was thinking about it this week, and I was like, is there maybe a conspiracy here? Because let's face it, I don't think anybody expected the Magic team in and of itself to do a whole lot. And so, yes, they were losing a lot, but, that's really not any different than what they've been doing for the last 2 years. And if I'm not mistaken, we're coming up to that summer where we should have a bunch of money to, I believe, sign 2 potential big-time free agents. Is that correct? Am I right? Isn't that this summer that potentially can happen, I believe?
Yeah, that's this summer.
And
right.
so my conspiracy was, as a coach, Jacques Vaughn, he's obviously the first-time coach, if I'm not mistaken. He's obviously not a big-time name. He's no Phil Jackson. He's not bringing a whole bunch of people into the building, if you will. And so is this really just a ploy to bring in that name that, I guess Scott Skiles has been one of the names that's mentioned, and he's had some success as an NBA coach. Obviously, he's a former Magic player as well. So he's kind of got a name for himself. George Karl was mentioned as well. Of course, he's signed in Sacramento now, so that's definitely not happening. But is that just their opportunity to bring in a name this summer to potentially attract a big time or a couple of big time free agents? Is
Yes.
that am I kind of thinking crazy,
No,
or
I think
was it really just on production?
No, because it was both. Even when he was given the job, it was like, now here they go. We're going to put all this expectation on this man's back, knowing good and well we don't have the players to back up whatever his plan is right now. If they were willing to be patient, maybe. But I knew all along he was a filler. He wasn't going to be it. I didn't think so.
I said the same thing. I've had this conversation with several people since last week. And I told everybody when they hired him, he was just a babysitter to get them to a certain extent until they can get to a point where they can attract a name, somebody with proven experience. Because that's what you're going to need anyway, to be honest with you, to take this roster anywhere. Some new coach is not going to come along and push these guys because they have no reason to respect that coach,
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with grown men, you obviously you got to respect the leadership to a point where no matter what they say, you're just going to do it. And Jacques Vaughn just didn't have that kind of pull. These guys don't even remember that Jacques Vaughn won the national championship at Kansas. They don't know that. They just thought he just some guy. They told him to come tell them what to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize, he actually had success in his career. He kind of know what he's talking about if you listen to him.
Right.
Right. And not to get off track, but I watched Real Sports, either it was Real Sports or 60 Minute Sports, and they did a piece on, it was Real Sports, they did a piece on the NFL's year last year and how they handled everything. But the guy that spoke, he talked about, and this relates to football, but it's across the board, I think, with the youth, how players and young players in the NFL don't know who, like, legends are.
Right.
Like a few of them walked right past Mike Singletary, didn't know who he was, what he'd done. They played his position and everything. And so the guy was like, we need to teach our kids how to reach back and understand deference and know, so you can study who was in your role before, how did they do it, still do it your own way, but learn. And so when you're talking about the kids, the players of the Magic not knowing who he was, I think that's in line with a lot of youth now. They don't really.
Most definitely.
Deference is like they think that they created everything, like it's now.
Right.
Their idea.
Yeah. Because they're bright.
Yeah.
And intelligent.
Yeah.
They know it all.
Yeah. History doesn't matter.
Right.
The world didn't begin until they were born.
Yes, I agree. Like I said, we'll see what happens with the Magic this summer. We'll see if they are able to attract a big-time free agent or a couple big-time free agents with all this money that we're supposed to have available. And we'll see who brings on the coach as well.
It's funny, because after they got the interim coach, they say, and they asked him, they're like, does he have a chance to fill the vacancy? Oh, of course, he's going to get every shot. Come on now.
More lies.
Like, come on, man.
Got to tell them what they want to hear.
It's like we all know there's no free agent coming here to play for, I forgot his name. But
I don't even know his name.
I don't know his
name. Nobody's going to come play for him. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to say, okay, I like coach whoever, and I'll come play for him. And, they got young pieces, so we might be able to build something. But if y'all thinking y'all going to get a Chris Paul or Durant or something, let's just get that out the way, okay? Ain't no Durant's, LeBron's, Chris Paul, none of those guys are coming. So let's just get all that out the window, all that wishful thinking, just throw it all out the door. What you got to be hoping for some up and coming guy who's kind of good now. They're not kind of good. There's somebody that can say, oh, they're good. We should be expecting something like, they locked him up, but somebody kind of like Klay Thompson that's kind of on the rise, one of those guys to come.
Is that what we should be expecting?
Not him though, because they locked him up. They got good management. They knew what they were doing. They locked him up. But you understand, it's those kind of guys. Forget about the superstars. It's not gonna happen.
We'll see what happens, man.
They should have went for Rudy Gay.
It'll be an exciting summertime to see what the Magic actually brings to the table and see what kind of team they're going to field. I mean, they got a lot of options on the table now with the entertainment complex coming, and
they got to get that finished first. Though.
We're going to have a lot of big things happening in the city, so we'll see. Maybe they can get somebody big time.
Okay,
maybe.
Okay. Well, on the downside, that in them peaked and they kind of sloping. You understand what I'm saying? But still good enough to be considered great, but not. I'm taking Scrubs to the championship. Not that kind of great.
Not that kind of great.
Yeah. Somebody that's like, okay, I need somebody else too. I can't do this on my own. My knees hurt.
Well, they said I think they said they can sign 2 big time free agents. So
okay.
That's a lot of money.
But who though?
We'll find out this summer.
And with what coach?
Yeah, it's a lot of questions.
Now, what I hope they don't do.
It should be interesting.
They don't overspend just trying to get anybody.
We'll see. It's going to be a good summer. Good summer. But I do feel bad for Jacque Vaughn, though. I feel like they just, as you said, he really didn't have a shot.
But to be honest with you, if I'm sitting back here and I see it, exactly. If I'm sitting back here and I see it, I know he saw it.
It's one of those jobs where you know.
Stupid.
I'm sure he knew.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
This is a seasonal job.
He's like, look, I'm going to come
Don't
in here.
spend too much money.
I'm going to get my feet wet. I can say I got experience.
There you go.
And you can say what you want. You can say the players that was here when he first got here, the ones that's still here, they've improved. Oladipo was a better player than he was when he first got here. Some of those other guys. Now, the guys that ain't playing, I can't speak for them. I don't know how they do in practice. I mean, because everybody tends to forget, too. We got 9 new players on the roster this year. Look at Cleveland. It took them whole year, and they got superstars on their team. We ain't got no superstars, but we were expecting something great, huh? People crazy around here, man. I'm just saying.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Cleveland's still gonna make the playoffs. Though.
Oh, I know that. I was just using it as a comparison.
Oh, okay.
How long it take them to kind of jail?
I mean, but look at the Hawks.
And you're dealing with great
the Hawks
players.
Was last year what the worst team maybe?
No. They made the playoffs.
That wasn't last year. That was the year before last.
I think if I'm not mistaken, the Hawks got like the longest playoff streak next to the Spurs.
Oh, really?
Because they keep sneaking in like 7-8 every year. But again, they in the East.
They still doing good this year, though.
Oh, they're doing great this year.
And they don't have a team like that.
No, what they have is a group of players that have been together for a while.
Exactly.
And they have a coach they're listening to.
And that's what the Magic don't have.
And everybody understands what they're supposed to do, and they're doing that. Mm-hmm. Similar, people don't. The coach from the Hawks, he's from up on the Popovich. And if you look at them, they're playing that Spurs kind of ball. Everybody doing what they're supposed to do and not trying to do nothing else. And they win it.
We'll see, man. Summer 2015. I can't wait to see what the Magic pull out of their hats, man. A couple more stories I wanted to get to.
Shaq out of retirement.
Couple more stories. This one, I know the world is kind of in an uproar about this story, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't really care about this story. But I want to just see what y'all think about it real quick. Brian Williams, of course, he just got suspended from NBC News for 6 months without pay, of course, because there were at least 2 stories, maybe potentially more, that he clearly fabricated what he saw or what happened during that moment. And so, of course, the world is in uproar. I can't believe he would do such a thing. How could he do it? Nobody can trust NBC News anymore, blah, 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 blah. Miss Temia Brinson is in the house. Let me start with you.
Fabricated? Is that the word we're using?
He fabricated, right?
Oh, okay.
Or lied?
What just happened to
Lied?
lie?
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Lied.
Yeah.
Isn't fabrication the same thing as a lie?
No.
Well,
All right. He
exaggerated the truth.
Exaggerated the truth. Okay. Hey, you're in the media.
Storytelling.
Is this mind blowing? Is this, I can't believe this man doesn't deserve a job anymore in news? Is it that deep? You tell me. You're in the news.
Well, me,
business.
I'm not that much shocked. People make up lies every day. So, especially in the news business and politicians as well. So I'm not really that shocked. What I am shocked is that they are just doing a hatchet job on him. Like,
Yes,
really?
they are.
Yeah.
And
They're
I know
trying to take
cats,
everything he's ever said.
I'm
now.
serious. I mean, I know cats that do all kinds of stuff in the media. And the first boo-boo, that he does, he has to go. I don't understand. Explain this to me.
I think this 6-month suspension, gonna let it cool off. Some other scandal or something else will happen by then, and he gonna sneak right on back up there.
No,
we're gonna forget about it.
You think so? I
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I'm not so sure.
We'll see.
I'm not so sure. I mean, I like I said, I personally, I don't really care. Like, he fabricated a story. He told,
I mean, but they all do.
That's my thought on it. I'm sure most of them fabricate stories in some way, shape, or form.
I'm serious.
So
And
how
then
is he
you
any
see
different?
the advertisement come out. Come on now, we know y'all getting paid. Come on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I just wanted to see if anybody else felt like I felt. Because listen to the world. The world is like, I can't believe he's doing that. I can't believe that he would do such a thing.
Undercover hustler. That's all.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Two other quick things. Did you guys see Tiger Woods put out a statement today? He's done with golf until his game is satisfactory to himself. Can you believe that? I tweeted out and I said, well, the only reason why I watched golf scores in the first place was Tiger Woods, so I really have no reason to care anymore.
Oh my goodness! You actually watch the scores? Okay.
Well, I just like to see what they do, because I wanted to see where Tiger fell.
Well, I would say this: Tiger got me watching golf.
Tiger brought the whole golf game back to America. Man.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about golf until
and
Tiger.
Right, and even though Tiger's not playing anymore, when they play in the Masters. If it's like, if no game on, like something like that, I'll sit there and watch for a half hour, 45 minutes to see what's going on.
Just because, but give it 5 more years, and Tiger's not playing, you won't even care. You will find something else.
Well, the only reason I say I would probably care is because I'm interested in golf, and if I get me some little extra change, some free time, I'm gonna scoot out to a country club. But that's just me.
Okay.
Right.
That's just you.
You'll be the
That's
caddy.
Hey, no, I ain't gonna be. I ain't carrying nobody bags.
He said he gonna play.
I ain't carrying nobody bags.
He gonna
Just
play.
believe that.
I just can't,
Unless they tipping good.
It's just-
I mean, I don't understand why he. I feel like he should have been did this, because I don't think he should have came back. He should have stayed gone when he was gone, and then just was retired on top. That's what he should have did.
yeah, but he's not quite on top yet.
But I'm talking about before the situation happened.
Before he got shellacked and his public life got shellacked.
Right, he should have
Okay.
just disappeared and stayed gone right then. And what, I'm just gonna
he
retire.
got to pay the ex-wife. He can't do that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Man, she got,
So
I
I
think she
would've
got
did.
like $100 million.
Yeah,
or
bro,
something,
man got to
something
work.
like
You still got to work.
that's what I would have did.
She got some money.
But yeah, then big news, man. Tiger Woods is done with golf until he says it's right again. I'm curious to see how long that takes.
I mean, it's
gonna be
golf.
interesting.
You can be 80 years old and play golf.
He can,
It ain't football,
but on
basketball.
the senior tour, he can't play on the PGA tour.
Right. You can play on the senior too. Hey, but remember the seniors, the Masters are open field.
He's still trying to
So
get
he
Jack
can
Nicklaus.
he can be
so,
90 years old, and long as
I'm sure he's trying to get back in the PGA.
as long as you got a green jacket, you can play
Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
in the Masters. As long as you got a green jacket, you're eligible.
And he got that.
We'll see what happens, man. Well, then one more quick story here. Did you guys hear about the family who pretended to kidnap the 6-year-old son because they thought he was too nice?
Wait,
What?
what? Explain it.
You missed
'cause
that
I
one,
missed
huh?
that story.
You missed that one.
Explain
There's
it.
a mother who thought her 6-year-old was too nice, and so somehow, between her and her sister, and they brought in, and the grandmother was aware of the story as well, but they brought in a co-worker of the sister, and what they did is the boy got off of the school bus. The co-worker came and convinced him to get in his car. Once in the car, the co-worker branded a gun on the kid and basically told him
right.
that, he was being kidnapped and, kind of gave him those threats about how you'll never see your mama again. It made it real. Then from there, they took him back to, I believe they said the co-worker's house. I forgot to mention, they tied him up with plastic bags. They had to make it real, man.
He's 6.
6.
Okay.
6.
He was too nice.
Too nice.
So they went back and they went back to the coworker's house. At that point, the aunt came in. He was blindfolded, so he didn't know it was his aunt. So the aunt came in, and the aunt began to threaten him. Took his pants off, they say, and threatened him. You're going to be sold into sex slavery, and and they're going to do this, that, and the other with you.
I like this story. Go
And
ahead.
then from there, the mother and the grandmother were actually on the cell phone the whole time as all of these things were unfolding. Now, what I didn't see is at what point did the police get involved to arrest them, because they all did finally get arrested for this nonsense. And at what point did they, hey, it's just Auntie.
Oh my God.
Seriously?
I can't.
This is the way we teach kids lessons?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, first of all, what do you mean by too nice?
So
I don't know. They
You
said
mean soft or sweet?
No,
What do you mean?
they thought he was
prob-
too nice. They thought he was
probably
too
mean
trusting.
he's too trusting.
And so
of people.
they
Okay.
wanted him to know that he lived in a harsh world, and so they presented a scenario to show him that this is a harsh
a
world.
documentary can do it.
No, it couldn't actually.
Real life.
These kids
it's
don't
real
know
in the
that.
field.
Goodness.
It's real in the field. Some strange man say, "Come to your car." You don't go. See, and that's what they said. They was teaching him the stranger danger lesson. And some strange man said, "Come to the car." He didn't know him, but he still went to the car. And then when he went to the car, that's when it went down. Down to the basement, matter of fact, where they left the boy in the basement for some time, unbound, as family members lectured him about stranger danger. Eventually, the victim told the school officials about the accident, and they were reported to the Division of Family Services.
Accident.
There you go.
Who wrote that? Accident. That was not accident.
I mean, that's what happened.
That's just crazy. I
He
just
tripped
can't
and fell into
imagine.
the car.
Extreme.
I just can't imagine setting up my 6-year-old for a fake
A
kidnapping
6-year-old.
Like, really?
to show him that the world is harsh.
Hey, you already know what I'm gonna say. So I don't gotta say it.
Go ahead and say it. I want to hear
What
what
do
you
you
got.
have to say about
do you have to say?
Hey, I ain't mad at him. Now I might not have went through his stream with the brandishing the gun and told him. I wouldn't have told him that you go sold into sex slavery. I wouldn't have went that far.
it? You would have kidnapped
But
him
I
and
might
put
have
him
snatched them up if they have not shown me common sense. Because, see, y'all, but what you really have to understand is that's how they get them. At 6, get off the bus stop. Hey, you want some candy? You hop in the car. So that happened to them one time. No harm, no foul. They was all right. It's somebody you trusted. I mean.
Okay. No.
Wow.
Hey, I'm just saying.
That's all I can say.
No.
That 47894.
I'm just saying. Hey, better you than a stranger. Is all I can say.
I mean, there are ways.
That's
I
true.
want to make sure that my child has it drilled into their head to
But
stranger
it's
danger, like you
it's
said.
your child.
But what I'm telling y'all
Right,
is
but
what
now
you
they're
have
about
to.
to go to jail because
mean,
what
that
you
was
have-
extreme.
What about emotional
But who called the police?
welfare?
Who called the police?
No, the
Hello,
little
he
boy.
could've snapped.
The little boy went to the school and told the school
school
what
officials.
happened.
But
And they
see,
have
what
to
I'm saying,
tell.
what I'm saying is that's why I say to the extent I think they went too far as far as brandishing guns, assaulting sex rate slavery, tying them up with bags. You didn't have to do all that. Once they feel like they got snatched up and all that, you could have made the point then. You understand what I'm saying? I think they did go too far.
Like they said, he was crying. After he pulled the gun out, he started crying, and it was like, oh, okay, it's real. Then it was like, all right, now your mama should have came and not see, baby, I ain't gonna be here all the time.
Right.
And then it should have ended there. They shouldn't have threw him in the basement and start taking down his
Just went
pants.
ham.
Like, come on, you OD now.
Like
Like,
to get
for
sold
real.
into sex slavery. I mean, come on,
Sex?
man.
What sex slavery? What the? Like,
Right,
you
he's 6. What do you know about
Does he
sex?
know what that?
6 years old.
Right.
Like,
So now you're
come on.
exposing him to that, like
Really?
whatever that is in his. No.
4789468. That's just crazy, man. That's just crazy.
Before you get started, for bizarre news that I saw, a Brooklyn woman was killed by her husband, but the family says the funeral mishap is what makes it feel like she was murdered twice. When they were trying to lower the casket into a grave that was too small,
Oh wow.
it opened up
Oh, wow.
in
But
front of the family.
It didn't fall out, did it?
She was like cocked-eyed, tilted into, so exposed. Stop it! Stop! All of your every single morning. Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm getting out this.
Hey, you know
I'm getting out.
the first thing that popped in my mind was
Y'all are wrong.
the first thing that popped in my mind was death at a funeral. That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Oh my God.
No, what's the funeral TV show that came on? They came on TV.
That-
Yeah, the
Gabriel's show?
one Jim used to watch all the time.
Y'all,
That was
for
good.
real?
Right now.
That was
Every
funny.
single one of y'all
Wow,
laughed.
what a pictures
Hey.
is.
Well,
I'll just say
pictures.
this.
See that.
I'm just say this. I'm glad I wasn't at that funeral.
exactly.
I would have laughed at that funeral.
Would,
Exactly.
would you
I
have
would have.
See, this
your
is
family member,
couldn't
something
take
happened
it.
like that
I
to them?
couldn't
You would have been laughing?
I couldn't
better,
take it.
better.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't take that. I would
Yeah.
have.
Now you
I
should
think
know
I
us
would
long
have
enough.
happened.
You know us long enough to know we would have been in there rolling.
I
We were
cannot.
rolling.
I can't.
We would have been in there
I'll give
rolling.
it.
What?
Now we didn't have that
Our
kind. We didn't
family?
have not quite extreme, but
Oh my God.
I remember we went to
Sorry.
what was it? Our uncle? I think it was our uncle funeral.
Yeah.
It was our uncle funeral, and they had a lady was up singing. She wanted to sing "I Believe I Can Fly" because she said that was his favorite song. And she sounded a hot mess, and we sat in the back of the room and we laughed.
Different. That is different.
Funny
I
is
have
funny. If it's
laughed
funny,
at
hey,
somebody
it's
sounding
funny.
a hot mess.
If it's funny,
but
it's
the
funny.
body falling out, like half
That-
in, half out,
Wow.
in the dirt,
Wow.
it's exposed.
That
The
was-
family
Here
was.
it is. Here it is.
The family's
I am
distraught. They
giggling,
now have a
so-
lawsuit against this
You know,
company.
and they're right. And they're right for all of that.
because
They
you
are.
gotta secure that stuff.
But see, at that time, you know,
Emotional
It would've still been
distress.
funny.
we passed the church, so we didn't got our crying and our dancing and shouting. Now
Yeah.
we done got all that out.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Right, we at the cemetery
At the
now.
cemetery.
No.
So we done calm down a little bit,
Yeah.
and we sit here like these fools crazy.
Can't deal with y'all.
I'd have been laughing.
I would've pulled out
at
that
the
phone.
same time.
That would've had to go on
Hey, at the
Instagram.
same, I've been right on the phone with my lawyer. You know what these fools just did?
That's exactly what they
We
did.
about to get paid.
They are now trying to sue the
Father.
the funeral home, and so the family had to leave while they get her out, clean her up, get the casket all together,
Wow.
and then rebury her the next day.
Her body stayed together. Nothing came off. Nothing.
They didn't say that.
Okay.
But some of the family members could not go because it was too traumatic. Like, I can't believe y'all laughed.
That's
It was
fine.
still
But see,
funny,
but
man.
here's my thing.
Oh, my God.
Here's well, I guess I'm a little different. Wow. Me personally, I'm a different, but just in general, I'm a believer, and I don't, and my thing, once they pass, they pass. The soul is gone. You just talking about a shell, I mean, they're not feeling pain. It's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't even look at it like that. I don't look like I'm not going to be emotionally traumatized because to me that's not them anymore.
It's
Right.
visual.
That's
The visual is the visual.
That's
I'm
what makes
telling
it
you,
funny.
I'm never going to forget it.
I can't.
That's what makes it funny.
Yes.
I can't.
The whole visual of her
And we're going to
falling.
talk about that the
Yeah.
rest of our life.
Exactly.
The rest of we would never figure it
Remember
out.
when they dropped Grandma?
I should have never said anything.
Hey, I got one more quick story.
Oh, my
One more
goodness.
quick story. This ain't going to take long. You see they vacated Jackie Robinson lead their U.S. championship today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They cheated. They used players outside the district.
I saw that.
Shame on the coaches.
I
That's
saw
all I got to
that.
say. And
That's
leave
what
it
I
at
said
that.
too.
We can
Shame
move
the
on.
coaches.
And that again, that happens all over this country,
Yeah, it does. Happens all the time.
all the time.
But
They
see, that's
should have known
what
better.
when they won. Once they won,
They should.
they know that. Once they won, they already know to go dig.
Right.
Because everybody that wins, that's the first thing they start doing,
Yeah.
making sure everything is legit.
Right.
And especially them being from, come on, they're from Southside Chicago. Come on,
Come on. Come on.
A team for
Come
the black
on,
boy.
man.
Come on.
Come on. You know, one of the
Coaches
parents
should
is
have.
like,
Them coaches should have been like, man, I don't think Johnny should play. I don't know that. I know he got a strong back, but they need to investigate that Japan team because I'm telling you, one of the boys over there was in the 9th grade. That's all I got to say. I'm gonna leave that alone.
They're known for cheating too.
well, we'll see what happens.
Right? But they can falsify their documents.
Yeah. They can do
All
that.
right,
Boy got a
we'll keep it
beard
moving,
talking about
like
he
you
12
said,
years
man.
old.
Let's we got Temia Brinson in the house. I asked Temia to come by. There's been a lot of controversy going on with the Reverend Al Sharpton lately. There was a Washington Post story written on, I believe it was Sunday. Did they publish that story? Mm-hmm. On Sunday about him, and it was actually more of an interview with him, actually kind of giving a lot of his thoughts on what he thought about what he was currently doing and, you know, how to move forward with different things. And it was kind of quite interesting picture into the life of Al Sharpton. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk here to me. Tell me what happened or what they talked about in the story.
Well, first of all, the reporter, he spent a weekend with Reverend Sharpton, and it basically, to me, it says it's a profile, but to me, it was just a puffed up viewpoint from the Reverend of how he see his life. When you first read it, it tells a story. It's kind of like Shaft. You seen Shaft?
Yes.
It's like Shaft. Like, he does his events, and then it's the story about he refreshes the Google to see if he made the headlines.
Right.
And
right.
I'm sitting up here like, are you freaking kidding me?
He wants to know how much publicity he's getting.
And then he told his driver to drive around, 4 blocks?
Something like that.
And he refreshed it again, and he wanted to see exactly what they said. And then throughout the story, the profile is story after story. And then about he has doubts about himself, which I could have told you that.
We can see the work and give him some doubts, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he has doubts, am I effective? Am I doing enough? Do I have an ego? Yes, by the way. And, and first point is, am I effective? Because that's my main issue, of course. This is no secret. That's my main issue about the effectiveness. Yeah, the protests are great. I have protested myself. I've organized protests. So, I mean, after the protest, you have to be effective. You have to mobilize. You have to be in front of the faces of your congressmen. You know what I mean? So, and that after the protest, that work, I don't think that the organization or him as a leader put that much into it. And it kind of solidified when I read the profile that all he's really occupied with is putting on the show and how it's been put off and what the media is saying about it.
Yeah, I read the article, and the biggest thing I took away from it is, I mean, I've always known, obviously, he wants to be the representative for Black America that speaks when Black America, quote unquote, needs a speaker. But the challenge that I see for him is, unlike Malcolm X, unlike a Martin Luther King, I think their leadership didn't come from their necessity to want to be the leader. Mm-hmm. It came from a natural ability of people allowing them or thinking they had something positive to say for them. Whereas he reading through the article, basically ever since a little boy, it was his goal to become the leader.
Right.
And so he's been doing everything in his power to be looked at as that leader, as opposed to it being a natural progression of, yeah, he does say something positive that I think is going to help us move forward. He's setting out, his whole goal in life is to be that leader, and then he's judging himself based on whether or not he's accomplished that. And, looking at the publicity thing, I remember looking at, some of the scenes in Selma, and, the way they portrayed Martin Luther King, he looked for some of that publicity, too, to make sure the movement was being, publicized. Mm-hmm. And so I guess maybe he says he's in the article, he talks about how he went back and he read a lot of Martin's papers and things of that nature, his private work. And so I don't know if that was a running theme, and maybe he picked that up from that, or what his issue is, or, his thing is. But I just found it, again, leadership to me is something that naturally comes upon you, and then people notice. It's not something you strive to get, and then you are constantly challenging people who may say that you don't have that.
Well, now see, I disagree.
You disagree?
I think that to be ambitious and to strive to be a leader, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, I think once you become that leader and you get caught up in the publicity and the hype, and that causes you to have an enormous ego, which brings you off focus of what you started in the beginning. So it's not really the ambition to want to be a leader, but I think it's the temptations that arise once you become that leader. You just got to have a level head, be level-headed enough, and be steadfast enough, and be focused enough to stay on course.
Yeah, I think that's true too. I think it takes a little bit of both, though. You got to want to be able to lead people, but then you got to know how to balance it out, and sometimes be Hollywood and actually get the publicity to have your movement to be publicized, and then make sure that you're still leading your people and doing what you're supposed to be doing and keeping the promises that you're making. And I think that's the wrong with Al. He really don't do nothing to back up what he say. It's called like a hard shell, but nothing on the inside. So. That's why nobody can really believe what he says.
407-894-1680, 407-894-1680. We're discussing an article written about Al Sharpton in the Washington Post last Sunday. We'll post it to our Real Family Talk Facebook page. It's already on our Twitter page, and you can check out the link there as well. But one of the questions that, again, brought about from the article is, even as he says, he talks about every night how he goes to some exclusive cigar bar in New York. And one of the things he ponders there while he smokes his cigars is his effectiveness as a leader. Is he being effective? Are the things that he's doing, bringing us towards some more positive movement or moment in society? 407-894-1680. What do you guys think about that? Do we think what he's doing, especially currently? I mean, we got a lot of noise going on currently, a lot of quote unquote movements going on currently. Is he still effective in moving these movements forward, or is it time for him to step aside and maybe coach somebody else up to the scenario?
I think the latter, what you said. It's time for him to groom somebody else to help. And looking at the marches in New York and D.C., supposed to be the same movement, supposed to be the same type of organizational structure to it. The New York one went off well. They went ahead, everybody marched. The D.C. one, the stage that he was on and quote-unquote VIPs, it was a show as opposed to just the march. And they were like 10 feet away from the actual people in the march. And so a lot of people were like, what is this VIP stuff? What is all this? Y'all securing us from y'all, but we're supposed to be in this together. Mm-hmm. So everything that it becomes a show. Right. So now what Mr. King said makes sense. Some of it you need to spotlight it. So he has the name, but when we're talking about credibility, his credibility is leaving him.
It's gone.
So that power that he had in the name is fading, and I hope while he's pondering things while smoking that cigar, he recognizes that and pulls in some young person and says, hey, these are the mistakes I made. Don't make it, but let's still fight this fight together.
But, he has a lot of young people in his organization. A lot of people I've befriended and gotten to know over past couple of years. And so I can say that he do have a lot of strong young people, diligent and focused young people in his organization. However, the problem that I had is that with the protesters in Ferguson, that group of young people he kind of shunned. And for me, looking from the outside, and I know he's probably going to say, well, you're on the outside. Well, it's, all the rest of the country is on the outside. The rest of the world is watching. You know what I mean? So I think as an elder, he should have embraced them instead of shunned them. And it's kind of died down now, thank God. But it got to be a point where it was tit for tat between him and the young protesters from Ferguson, and I felt that was kind of childish of him. You're supposed to be their elder. You're supposed to embrace them. And then it got to the point where they felt like he was hijacking their moment there, which he kind of was.
Exactly.
So they bum rushed the stage, which they kind of did, So, and it just got to be a tit for tat in the media, and it's just horrible. And I'm like, dude, you're 60 years.
But for him, any publicity is good publicity.
And see, that plays into the distraction. Exactly. We always get distracted by BS. Why are we going back and forth on who's going to be a leader on something that's we're supposed to have this whole movement to push together, yet we're squabbling within ourselves and losing the whole message?
It's always a Judas.
It's distractions.
Oh, don't mention Judas.
Distractions.
It's always a spy. I mean, it's clear if you got a VIP section in a movement.
It wasn't a VIP. See, y'all making me come on here to build Sharpton. That is
Please,
not right.
That's what people who were there.
Yeah, but no, remember
they said that's what it was.
Remember,
but it wasn't a VIP.
Yeah,
it's for security purpose. You don't understand.
Right.
When I was over the name organization here, and we organized the protest for Trayvon Martin, I got threats. So it's not so much of as VIP, is that the family members of those who were slain, the victims, they had to be protected. You know what I mean? So, I don't think people understand that.
We
and
don't,
he was along with
because
it.
we feel that back in the 60s and the 70s when they was actually marching, again, like in the movie Selma, I'm sure they got threats also. And so back then, those threats were just a tad more frightening, in my opinion, than the threats of 2015. Though you can get sniped, I guess. I ain't heard nobody got sniped in a minute. But I just don't feel that would be valid. I would feel that, hey, this is a march. If we're marching, you expect to get the threats. You still don't have a special section because you can get shot, but she can't get shot. I just disagree with that. Now, you can call it the very VIP section if you want. You can call it the special section where they won't shoot over here. I don't know, whatever section you want to call it. But it's still not necessary at a movement. This is a movement. We're going to get shot together.
Okay, but can you agree with me that it all began, the whole thing started is when he didn't embrace the young protesters from Ferguson?
Because the shine was supposed to be on Reverend Lovejoy. I mean, what was his name? I'm sorry. Al Sharpton. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the shine was supposed to be on him. That's why you got to get those spies out the shine light. You need to put it on the people who bum rush the stage.
Yeah, he got to get back focused. He needs to get back focused.
What, let me ask
you. Need to pass the torch.
I mean, that's not going to happen until he peel over. But
well, now you got to find somebody. When I was talking to somebody that was an elder, they were saying that a lot of people don't have the credibility. You got to pay your dues, and a lot of young people feel that they're ready, but they ain't paid no dues.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that.
And maybe that's what he's waiting for.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you that, but the challenge with that is that. In all honesty, I think if you go back in the movement, in order to pay dues, you have to be given an opportunity to prove yourself. And so if you aren't given an opportunity to prove yourself, then there's hard for you to pay dues. It's kind of like, when you go for a job, I can't hire you because you don't have any experience. Well, if you gave me this job, I can gain some experience.
Yeah.
And so it's not that you have to let them be the forefront and they have to be the main speaker at every event that happens, but you at least allow them at the table so that you can see where their comments are and see where their head is, and then perhaps there is a role that you can quote unquote sanction, however you want to call it, that you can feel comfortable in giving them, but you have to give them that opportunity, because again, you're right, there are some knuckleheads that are quote unquote leading the movement that probably don't need to speak, but there's probably a few knuckleheads, or not knuckleheads, probably a few individuals that can intelligently speak and add something to whatever the movement is at that time. And so, but if you're not giving them the opportunity, then it only leads to the same frustration. It's the same frustration that led to people looting in places where they looted. It's because they were looking for an opportunity to speak. Nobody gave them an opportunity to speak, and so the only thing that they could think to do is to loot. And it's that same frustration. It comes from that same place. The intelligent person doesn't loot, but the frustration is the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, going back to my same theme, I think that refocusing is needed here. Of course, I wouldn't mind if you sat down, but refocusing is needed here because, again, I follow some of them on Twitter, the actual young protesters from Ferguson, and from the very beginning, even when President Obama invited them into the White House to have a meeting with all the other civil rights leaders, Sharpton came in, according to their account, Sharpton came in and he didn't even acknowledge them. So from the beginning, it was a volatile situation.
But see, this is my thing. The whole thing, like, somebody got to lose. I mean, what is paying dues? How do we know what somebody's been doing in their community that never hit the news? You know what I'm saying? And when I'm saying that, I'm speaking maybe from his perspective.
If you're doing something in your community, you're going to hit the news. They're looking for news.
No, not all the time. Maybe not what you do
impactful.
is but you can be impactful and not ever hit the news. You might not be doing no protest, but the person who's on the person who's out here mentoring kids and the cut crime 30% because they done grab a bunch of gangbangers off the corner, to me that's more impactful. That's real impactful.
Right.
That's
and the sheriff is going to be knocking on his door and say, hey, bro, what are you doing?
Not all the time. Not depending on where you live. The sheriff don't want to know you. Matter of fact, the sheriff might try to stop you because you cutting into his crime budget.
You're right about that.
You know what I'm saying?
My goodness.
No, ain't no, oh my goodness, that's his real.
No. Sheriff Dimmons is not like
I'm
that.
not talking about Sheriff Dimmons.
Sheriff Dimmons will look him up and say, hey,
but we're not talking
about,
but Sheriff,
let me see what you're doing because this was working.
But that's different. You talking about a black man in Orange County. But you go somewhere in rural county, Georgia, he trying to figure out why we ain't got no black people in jail.
You want to go to Georgia?
I'm just saying the name. But you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody doesn't want improvement. It's not to everybody's best interest. To help us out. So everybody's not going to make the news, but that's what I'm saying when people say, oh, well, you got to pay your dues. Everybody don't want to protest. Everybody don't want to be up front. Everybody don't want to be on camera. They just like doing what they do.
True.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. 407-894-1680 is the number, 407-894-1680. Again, we're discussing Al Sharpton, and we're talking about his effectiveness currently, his effectiveness moving forward. We're talking about bringing in youth to kind of help lead some of these movements potentially because he isn't being as effective. 407-894-1680. We'd love to hear what you think. But to continue the conversation, here's another issue, a big issue that I personally have with Al Sharpton. Not that I gave him. I thought that he had a voice. Let's say that. I thought he had a voice in what he did. But one of the things for me that made him sort of lose his voice, in my opinion, is when President Obama won office and he pretty much made a personal vow to not check him on anything. So whatever the president said, he decided he was going to ride with it, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And that's for me.
That's his boy.
That's when he lost his voice for me. That's the biggest thing that he did when he lost his voice for me, because his central role before that was to call out whatever he thought the establishment wasn't doing that was helping us. And so the moment you tag on and align yourself and basically outright refuse. That's the thing. You can like somebody and be friends with them, but at least, disagree. But he just absolutely refuses. He took to heart. You know how we do when somebody get to doing something. We're like, well, we ain't gonna talk about them because they doing it anyway. No, your job, sir, is to highlight what is not moving us forward. And so the moment he signed on and took on the role and said, I'm not doing that, that's really the biggest thing for me. That really kind of lost all respect for him personally, just because.
I mean,
that's
if
your
you have
role.
direct access to the president and you're still not making moves, I mean, what good are you?
That's true.
I mean, what happened to the body cams?
Well, they said they're getting some in Orange County anyway.
That's Orange
They're
County
working on
money. But
They're working on it in Orange County.
President Obama made a speech, and I don't see no funding. I'm just saying.
Everybody makes speeches.
Miss McCray ain't saying nothing to back up the president.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They make speeches.
I mean, and Sharpton was like, "Yeah, we need body cams." Yeah.
But I lost hope in the body cam after Eric Garner's like, here's the video right there, and we still don't get what we need from it. So,
But unfortunately, we weren't able to define what a chokehold was.
okay, well, see, that's the problem. That's what I mean. So there's always, even with video,
There's different levels of a
there's
chokehold.
still
apparently.
going to be some form of just discrepancies and controversy, and it's like, well, why? What's the point?
But what
are we doing?
The biggest thing, one of the biggest things we can draw from the Eric Garner situation is stop ducking jury duty. That's one of the biggest things.
Amen, preach.
Because you don't know what case you go end up sitting on. You have no idea. That's the biggest thing.
Well, in order to get jury duty, though, you got to also register to vote.
How about that?
Yeah, that's
Some
true.
places, so.
That's true. But there's a lot of registered voters. I'm not even gonna say it.
See, you about to tell on yourself.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Black Republican.
I ain't never ducked nothing.
Black Republican.
No, I
Not
ain't.
that brother.
Telling the truth.
Not that brother. Not that brother.
Say, hey,
Far
you
from
just
it.
call me black. I'm just black. Democrat, Republican.
I don't know. We'll
long
see.
they don't line themselves with the devil, I'm all right.
Herman Cain.
If he run, he got my vote.
Okay.
If he get to the finals, he got my vote.
He got your vote.
If he get to the finals, y'all got to get him to the finals though.
Jesse Jackson.
Not.
If he get to the finals,
Stop.
That's got your vote. That's why I'm hoping Ben Carson get to the finals.
if
but
he
that's a whole
get
nother
to the
story.
finals,
I
Really?
mean, they
I already
about
told you
to
how I
fuss about
ride.
him
Ben
before you
Carson.
get started.
Thank you. He ain't even gonna make it
He ain't even get
to
started.
next year.
That's not the conversation right now.
And I
but-
said
Like,
it
did
ain't.
the brother get a chance? Like, really?
but
No, he's
hopefully,
not.
Hopefully he gets to the finals.
He opened his mouth. He showed his true colors way too soon. Way too soon. He needed to play walk the line until later on. He just threw it all out there. All his crazy was showing. Day one.
Yeah, but I don't think it was crazy. I don't think
Of
he
course
said.
you don't. Fuck
He
some
didn't say.
friends.
If you think about it, he didn't say anything that you would expect another conservative to say. So
No.
That
There was-
is true.
There's,
That's true.
There's a little bit of bite there with his, though.
What did
I
he
mean,
say?
don't we all have a bite?
It was some
Only
extra,
because-
like an extra little.
only
That is
because,
our nature. We all have a bite.
only because he's black and everybody thought he was a liberal. That's why it's a bite to it. If he was a white man, this would not be a story. Bottom line.
That's true.
It's only because he's black and everybody thought he was a liberal. And then when he came out and it was like, wait a minute, I got some Republican ideas in my head. And then y'all was like, what? Not Ben Carson. He had Helping Hands.
yes.
But
Bill
then
Clinton.
I think that was the name of the movie, right?
I think so.
Helping Hands. He made Helping Hands.
I mean, but if
He
he
was
can
poor.
just talk
And
a
he
little,
go- and he
himself
gonna help
out.
you.
if
He
he
gonna help
can
you.
just talk a little lower, I just need a little bass. That's all I need.
Little bass in his
Just a little bass.
Bring it down.
We'll see what happens, man. We're a long way from that, though. Because he still hasn't declared. So
Child, he's not.
he is actually.
Don't hold your breath.
He's going to declare, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
We'll see what
So
happens,
what do you
man.
think about Jeb?
Speaking of Jeb, you actually made a comment the other day. I told you I was going to
I
ask you
did
about it on the
not.
show. You made a comment the other day about how I have to find the tweet that you had said.
What? Are you checking my tweets?
I do check your tweets.
Yes. we are.
Because now I know that you're
We
an
like the
avid Sean
government.
Hannity fan, too.
We like
so
the government. We monitor.
Gotta find out what's going on here.
Yeah, he be telling the truth for real.
I got to find out what's going on here. the what I thought was a true Democrat has turned out to be a potential conservative.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
But let me find the tweet. Basically,
I'm an
you
independent
said,
thinker, okay?
Okay, oh my bad, I apologize. Basically, you were saying that how you thought Jeb Bush was a true brother. I think he was at some kind of event, and from what I read, I think somebody who used to be head of the Urban League was introducing him, and in their comments,
oh, he was down here. Oh,
and then in their comments, that particular gentleman made some kind of comment about how Jeb Bush was a brother from another mother. I believe is how he referred to Jeb Bush. Now, he was the head of the Urban League, so I'm assuming he's a black man. But I don't know that for sure, but I assume he was. And so anyway, in making that, that's when I saw a few tweet after that. You retweeted that, and then you said how Jeb Bush was a true brother. Isn't that how you said it?
He's an undercover brother.
Undercover brother. That's what you called him. You called him an undercover brother.
Eddie he be smoking out. He smoked pot, and come on now, that's Bill Clinton #2. Like, for real. I was like, oh, you smoke pot? Yeah, you a brother. You in there.
I don't know. We didn't invent this now.
That's what I was about to say.
Why, how did we?
No.
We might go to jail
If it came from the ground,
we
we made it. We made it. Okay. If it came from the ground, we were the first two on Earth, right? Okay.
I'm just saying. They ain't say nothing about Adam lighting up. I'm just saying.
They did not
How
say
you know he ain't light up every day?
I never said I knew.
He
I just said it didn't
named
stay.
everything.
He was in the garden.
Okay.
It may not have been a drug to Adam.
He was in the garden.
And I'm sure he didn't light up. They might have ate it for medicinal
There
purposes.
you go. See? Maybe.
Well, it was sure cooking
knows?
good. Hey, you know what? That is true. That's how they got the sauce, like on Black Jesus.
Isn't that
They made it into a sauce.
I have no idea.
I haven't heard a
thing.
thing about it since like the first 2 episodes or
This
something.
brother's
No,
a
they
true-
ran the whole season.
Did
They ran
they?
the whole
Yeah.
season.
Okay. I never
Me
watched
and my
them.
mother watched every episode.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to watch the episode.
No, but seriously, Jeb, I met him one time, and he is the coolest cat. For real. He really is. So
That may be so, but I'm sorry. His name is Bush. Go somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Go back to your mansions, because I'm sure he has mansions.
Pretty much.
And your cars, and speak, and do your speaking engagements and sit down, because I am not interested in voting for any other
but
Bush.
he's the smart one.
Oh well, then he should have ran first.
There's a smart.
He should have ran first.
I
then.
mean,
I would give it to you. I think he is certainly more of a forward thinking than his brother.
yeah.
I mean, clearly he's somewhat of a thinker. I think it's interesting he married a Spanish woman. That was interesting.
Exactly.
But I'm sorry, at this point in the game, as far as I'm concerned, he should have ran instead of his brother, and then maybe he'd have had an opportunity.
The Bushes don't have a good name.
I
Sorry
think
about that.
he can overcome
From
it.
the
No, he's
daddy
done.
to the brother to the next
So
brother.
what you think about Rubio? He's gonna crush Rubio. Are you kidding me?
Well, but nonetheless, I would still take a Rubio over a Bush any day.
Oh my god.
Rubio over Bush.
Rubio?
A Rubio over a Bush any day. Rubio is history, quite frankly. What is
Yeah.
Bush? Bush is a
He-
dynasty.
he
Rubio
Oh
is
my
history.
goodness.
Rubio would be history. I
He
agree
is
with that.
history. He's the Cubano descent brother. That would be the first Cubano.
He's not a brother, but he is Cubano.
But his people don't even
Brother?
like him.
What?
Exactly.
His people don't like him. He's been
He's the
ruffling
old
feathers.
We
Cuban.
don't
The
know
young
what his people
generation.
like.
No, the young. Trust me.
They don't.
The
don't
young
know what his people
Cuban
like.
do not like him.
See, you watch too much Fox and Friends. They don't tell you the truth. They don't like that man.
Oh my goodness.
His own
He's
people.
probably too conservative. For
We
them.
don't like
He is
the Bushes.
probably
Yeah.
too conservative.
He's way too
Anything that
conservative.
comes out of his mouth is the old Cubans.
Right.
That's dying off.
Maybe. But
Are
nonetheless,
they
I still
registered
think
to
a
vote?
Rubio
Though? That's
over.
what. That's the question. The ones he ruffling feathers, are they registered to vote? Because if they are, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
That's probably why he keeps saying what he's
Hey,
saying. He talking to the ones
If he
registered.
make it to look,
And the one that's
if
gonna
he
show
make
up.
it to the primaries, I might go down there myself. Y'all need to register.
I still take a Rubio over Bush any day.
Whatever.
We'll see.
No dynasties, man. We don't live in a world of dynasties. That's exactly
I mean, he
why.
should not be punished for that. Just
That's
just
why-
like
that's why
Hillary
Clinton
should
should-
not be
Clinton shouldn't be
punished
running
for
either.
Clinton's.
Oh Lord.
Hillary
deeds.
Clinton shouldn't be running either. We don't need another
Oh my
Clinton in office.
goodness.
We already had Clinton twice again.
Seriously?
I don't need.
We're not going
I don't
to
need-
the.
I don't need a third Clinton.
Okay.
I don't need a third
So
Clinton.
we're
in
not going
office.
to judging you on your own merits. No,
No.
we're not going to follow that. Not
No.
going to follow that at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right.
You are
Just so we
associated
clear.
with your name. You are associated with your name. That's who you are. Your name.
The name
That's all you are.
So
The
just what you
name,
are.
no.
Sorry. You were in the office. You was there
He
for
was
8
not
years.
in the office.
You were there for 8 years.
He was
It's time
not
to
there.
move
He
on.
was here
Come
as
on.
governor.
Whatever. Bush, he had the opportunity to. He should have ran before his brother. That's what he should have did if he was serious about it. It's too late now. Bye.
We'll see.
I mean, he's winning in the polls, of course, at the moment. But it's too
Exactly.
late.
I
We're
think
done
he's
with
going
it.
to be their guy.
I got my money on him.
I'm just preparing myself. It's
I
gonna
have
be-
my money on him.
It's going to be a Bush versus a Clinton.
I don't know about Clinton.
You don't think so?
Yeah, she kind of slow right now. I don't know if she's going to get in the game, but we'll see.
Who do you think?
Well, Elizabeth Warren.
You think so?
She's so saying no the whole way for the past 2 years. No.
Yeah. I don't know if she's ready for
I
that,
mean,
though.
they have groups, they have social gatherings for Elizabeth Warren. Please
Really?
run.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. As long as it's not Clinton, though, that's all I don't care about.
Oh my goodness.
All right, before we go, man, every week we're shouting out Black History Month. So, Jeremy, what you got for me?
A few. Well, I'm not going to say minor stories, but just a couple before we get to, I would say, one of the biggest ones. This day in history for your sports fans out there. I guess you can say it is Black History, but this day in history in sports. I know people don't remember. In 1990, Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson for his first defeat, and that, if you don't remember, at that time that was huge. That was huge at that time. Mike Tyson might as well have been the Incredible Hulk.
Nobody could stop Mike.
So you had that. Also, I guess in a little sadder news, I wouldn't say. Obviously in 2012, this is the day that Whitney Houston passed.
The voice.
So you have that. That was obviously I'm not going to say that wasn't a huge story, because I guess it was.
Yeah.
It was a pretty
pretty
huge
huge.
story.
What else you got?
But I would say the main one, though, that I want to talk about, in 1990 on this day, Nelson Mandela was released from prison.
Oh, wow.
That is to me, the biggest. It's actually the headline. If you look on history.com, this is actually the main fact of the day. Is that this is the day that Nelson Mandela was released from prison after serving 27 years for what basically amounts to BS. He was talking back to his masters.
27 years of being
Yeah,
black.
wow.
South
disagreeing with your government. So it's so funny. In relation to this, at my job, I had a family, and I don't know who she had. She said she happened to work for some government job, and she asked her son, would he be willing to give up some of his. She was like, well, your generation, y'all would be willing to give up some freedom for your modern conveniences. Because he was, she was saying, do you know, obviously, everybody knows about the government, the emails and stuff. She's like, well, do you know what Facebook really does? They change their security settings every other month. Do you know what that information is being used for, y'all down? He was like, I don't really care. I don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? She's like, well, I know. That's y'all generation. And I'm just saying to relate this because, basically what he got jailed for was speaking up against the government, for criticizing the government for their apartheid, which was, with the minority whites ruled on the black majority of South Africans and oppressed them, similar to what we were going through here in the country. But, it was very much legal, even when it was illegal here. They were still doing it today. But obviously he was put in prison for 27 years for what really amounts to nothing. He was finally released in 1990.
There it is, on February 11th, huh?
February 11th.
Also, Black History Moment. My daddy was born today.
And we celebrate.
Happy
Because if it
birthday,
wasn't for him,
Dad.
there would be no you.
Hey now.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Watch out there. now.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Hey now. They went to go see Diana Ross tonight.
Pop's better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They went to see Diana Ross,
That
huh?
was his birthday gift.
Oh,
Where's she
wow.
at?
I would have taken him to
Dr.
see Selma.
Phillips Performing Arts Center?
I would have taken him to see Selma instead. But I'm
Well, we
just
already
saying.
saw it.
Over Diana Ross?
Diana Ross? Was it
No,
the
Diana
Dr.
Ross.
Phillips?
No, I would take that over Diana. I don't know if y'all.
Dr. Phillipson, they got a lot of things going on, bro.
Yeah, a lot of
Very
things.
much so.
I'm just saying because I'm not impressed with Diana Ross no more. She just,
Okay.
you know.
Ever.
Caught about
Like, are you serious?
If I caught about if it was about
Whatever.
20 years ago, then maybe we can talk.
She's not. She gonna sing nothing but her hits. Like that's the point. She's singing Supreme stuff. She's singing Diana stuff. Like that's it's that generation and fans.
I got you.
Okay.
Oh my
I
goodness.
can't. I'm not even gonna do it.
Hey, but, I read too much.
I'm not even gonna do it.
So when when you start manufacturing stars and all that stuff, to me, you stop impressing me.
I mean, all of Motown. What do you? That's
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not here to talk about that. It's Black History Month. Yay.
okay. Yay.
Go on, Diana. Hey, nothing I got to say is gonna take no money out of her pocket. So I'm not knocking her at all.
Well, they had a good time. So
Good for them. Good for them, man. Good for them, man. I'm sure we only got a couple minutes here, so let me not let this time go without thanking Temia for coming down. Temia, how do they find you on the net again,
It was
Temia?
a joy. Don't y'all tweet me.
I'm gonna follow you right now.
No, you can follow me on Twitter at Temia Brinson, and also on Facebook, Rejoice Magazine, Temia Brinson. And the website is rejoicemagazine.net.
There you go. And when does the TV show air?
Oh, we had to push it back because I had Judas when I was doing my article, so it's going to be a couple more weeks.
A couple more weeks for the
Yeah.
TV show come out. Okay.
We'll be looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that, right? It'll be all on your social media when you're
Oh, yeah,
ready,
you
right?
know I blast everything. Come on now. I don't play.
Gotcha. I got you, man. We want to, how many minutes we got, brother? 1 minute. All right. So we'll thank everybody for listening tonight. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Real Family Talk, Facebook, Real Family Talk. The website is realfamilytalk.com as well. Real quick, anybody got any last minute comments you want to put out there? Anything going on? Anything interesting we might have missed over the past week?
God is good
God is good
all the time.
all the time.
You may want to, I know we done beat Sharpton to death, so you may want to, if you're interested in the movement still, you may want to look up National Urban League, NUL.org. Thank you.
National Urban League, NUL.org, she says. So check that out, man. Check that out. Make sure you pay attention to what's happening. I just hope, like I said, when all these protests were going down, we're kind of quiet on protests right now. And I'm not going to say anything isn't happening. I hope some, people are organizing, but 2016 is right around the corner. I hope registration is going forth, and these movements will come back and register a whole bunch of people to vote and encourage those registered voters to go out to the polls and express their thoughts and opinions. Because if not, it was all for naught. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I know we're going to actually get Mr. King out to the polls as well. Right, Mr. King?
No.
You don't. you don't.
You
We'll
can't
see y'all
change-
next week,
you can't-
WOKB
you can't change the
1680
system in
AM.
the system.
Co-host Jeremy, a.k.a. Younger Brother. Tune in next week, 9 to 10 p.m. and every Wednesday from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOKB 1680, your urban empowerment and inspiration station. See you.
My brother, my brother.
You're listening to 1680 WOKB AM, Winter Garden, Florida.